The village of Elmsworth had always been a place of mystery, its history as tangled as the ivy-covered walls that adorned its ancient cottages. When Jonathan Vane returned to his childhood home after years of absence, he couldn't help but feel the weight of the memories pressing down on him. It had been a long time since he had set foot in the village, and the events of his past had always haunted him, just as the old tales of witches and dark magic had haunted the villagers for centuries. Elmsworth was a quiet, secluded village, nestled deep in the woods, surrounded by a thick forest that seemed impenetrable to outsiders. The villagers had long been wary of the trees, and they spoke of the witch who lived on the outskirts of town. Her name was Lira, and her power was said to be both feared and revered. For years, Jonathan had dismissed the stories as mere folklore, the kind of tales that children told around campfires. But as he approached the old manor that had once been his home, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. The air was thick with fog, and the trees seemed to whisper in the wind. As he walked through the village, the familiar faces of his childhood greeted him with cautious smiles, but there was an unease in their eyes. It was as though they knew something he didn't, something that had been hidden from him for years. Jonathan's first stop was the village inn, where he hoped to find some answers. The innkeeper, an old woman named Maud, had known Jonathan's family for years. She had watched him grow up, and he trusted her with his questions. "You've come back at a strange time, Jonathan," Maud said, her voice low and filled with concern. "There are rumors about the witch, Lira. She's been seen again, and there's talk of her power returning." Jonathan frowned. "Lira? I thought she was just a story. Didn't she leave the village years ago?" Maud shook her head. "No one truly knows what happened to her, but there's been talk of her return. People have seen strange lights in the forest at night, and some say they've heard her voice calling out in the wind." Jonathan's curiosity grew. He had heard the stories, of course, but he had never given them much thought. But now, with the unease in Maud's voice and the strange atmosphere in the village, he couldn't ignore the feeling that there was more to these rumors than mere superstition. The next morning, Jonathan decided to visit the outskirts of the village, where the dark woods began. He had to see for himself if there was any truth to the rumors. The villagers spoke of a hidden cave deep within the forest where Lira had once practiced her dark magic, and Jonathan wondered if that place still existed. The trees grew thicker as he ventured deeper into the forest, the fog swirling around him like an oppressive blanket. The silence was unnerving, broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves or the distant call of a bird. Jonathan's footsteps seemed unnaturally loud as he made his way through the dense underbrush, his mind racing with thoughts of what he might find. As he approached a clearing, he saw it, a large, ancient tree, its gnarled roots twisted and sprawling like fingers reaching into the earth. Beneath it, hidden in the shadow of the tree, was a small cave. Jonathan's heart skipped a beat as he approached the entrance, knowing this was the place the villagers had spoken of. Inside the cave, the air was damp and cold, and the smell of earth and decay filled his nostrils. The walls were covered in strange symbols, the likes of which Jonathan had never seen before. There was something unsettling about the markings, an ancient power that seemed to pulse beneath the surface. As Jonathan ventured further into the cave, he felt a cold breeze wash over him. He shivered and turned around, but before he could leave, a voice echoed through the darkness. "You've come to find me," the voice said, soft and seductive. "I've been waiting for you." Jonathan froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He knew that voice. It was the voice of Lira, the witch who had haunted the village for as long as he could remember. But she had vanished years ago, and now her voice seemed to call out to him from the depths of the cave. "Lira?" Jonathan whispered, barely able to comprehend what was happening. The shadows in the cave seemed to shift, and a figure stepped forward. She was tall and slender, her pale skin glowing in the dim light. Her eyes were a piercing shade of green, filled with an ancient wisdom that sent a chill down Jonathan's spine. Her long black hair flowed like a river of midnight, and her presence was both haunting and mesmerizing. "I've been waiting for you, Jonathan," Lira said, her voice lilting, almost musical. "You were always meant to find me. The village needs you, and so do I." Jonathan took a step back, his mind racing. "What do you want from me?" Lira smiled, a wicked, knowing smile. "I want you to understand the truth of what happened to the village, to me, and to you. The power that binds us all is ancient, and it is time for it to be unlocked." Evelyn's curiosity overpowered her fear. "What do you mean? What happened to the village?" Lyra's eyes gleamed. "The curse that has plagued this village for centuries is not what you think. The truth is far darker, and you, Jonathan, are the key to breaking it. But to do so, you must embrace the magic within you. You must become what you were always meant to be." Lyra's words hung in the air, their weight pressing down on Jonathan. His mind reeled with confusion, but the longer he stood there, the more he began to understand. The village, the curse, his family, everything had been a part of something much larger than he had ever imagined. "Your bloodline," Lira continued, her voice soft but commanding, "has always been tied to this village. You are the heir to the magic that flows through these lands. You are the one who can free it or doom us all." Jonathan's thoughts turned to his family's history, the stories his parents had told him as a child. He had always believed they were just that, stories. But now, standing in the presence of Lira, he realized there was truth behind them. "How do I free the village?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Lira smiled again, her gaze never leaving him. "The key lies within the heart of the forest. There is a relic, a powerful artifact that can break the curse. But it is guarded by creatures older than time itself. You must find it, or the village will remain lost forever." The weight of the task before him felt suffocating, but Jonathan knew there was no turning back. He had come to Kether to uncover the truth, and now he was being thrust into a world of ancient magic, curses, and destiny. Determined to uncover the truth and free the village, Jonathan set off deeper into the forest, following Lyra's instructions. The air grew thicker with each step, the trees towering above him like silent sentinels. The path ahead was obscured by fog, but he pressed on, knowing that the fate of the village rested on his shoulders. As he ventured deeper into the forest, the atmosphere grew more oppressive. Strange sounds echoed from the shadows, low growls, whispers, and the rustling of unseen creatures. Jonathan's senses heightened as he moved forward, his heart racing with every step. The relic was close, he could feel it, but the closer he got, the more powerful the forces working against him seemed to become. Suddenly, a shape moved in the fog, a large, hulking figure with glowing red eyes. Jonathan froze, unsure whether to fight or flee. The creature snarled, its breath heavy and hot as it moved toward him. "You should not have come," a voice growled from the shadows. "This is our domain." The creature's glowing eyes pierced through the fog as it stepped forward, its large, hulking form moving with terrifying speed. Jonathan's heart pounded in his chest, but he forced himself to remain calm. The forest had changed, and it was no longer just a place of trees and wildlife. It was alive with ancient magic, and the creatures that inhabited it were its protectors. "Who are you?" Jonathan asked, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. He had no choice but to face whatever this creature was. The beast snarled, revealing sharp, jagged teeth that gleamed in the dim light. "I am the guardian of the relic," it said, its voice low and guttural. "You are not welcome here. The curse has already claimed your village. It is too late for redemption." Jonathan stood his ground. "I'm not here to destroy. I'm here to save the village. I have to find the relic." The creature chuckled darkly, its eyes narrowing. "You think you can just walk into this realm and take what is not yours? The relic is not meant for the weak of heart. It has a power that could consume you." "I'm not afraid," Jonathan said, though deep down, he wasn't entirely sure if that was true. But he knew that he had no choice. He had to continue. With a loud roar, the creature lunged at Jonathan. Reacting on instinct, he jumped to the side, narrowly avoiding the beast's claws. The ground shook as the creature landed, snarling in frustration. "You are foolish to defy me," the creature hissed. But Jonathan's resolve hardened. He couldn't afford to be afraid. If he was going to save the village, he needed to get past this guardian. With the guardian momentarily distracted, Jonathan sprinted forward, weaving between the trees. The fog thickened, wrapping around him like a blanket, but he pressed on, his eyes focused on the path ahead. He had no idea how much longer the guardian would stay distracted, but he needed to find the relic. After what felt like an eternity, Jonathan reached a clearing in the forest, and there it was, the relic. It stood in the center of the clearing, a large stone pedestal upon which sat a glowing orb, radiating with an otherworldly light. The air around the orb shimmered with power, and Jonathan could feel the heat radiating from it, despite the chill in the air. As he stepped closer to the pedestal, the fog around him began to swirl and shift. The forest seemed to hold its breath, and the ground beneath his feet felt unstable, as though the very earth was alive and watching. He reached out toward the orb, his fingers trembling slightly as he touched it. The moment his skin made contact, the ground beneath him cracked open, and the fog thickened, swirling violently around him. A voice, deep and ancient, boomed through the forest. Only those who are worthy may wield the power of the relic. You have come far, but the final test awaits. Suddenly, the fog parted, revealing a dark, shadowy figure, Lira. But she was different now, her eyes glowing with an unnatural light, her face twisted with a sinister smile. "You were never meant to succeed, Jonathan," she said, her voice a mere whisper, though it echoed throughout the clearing. "The mirror showed you what you wanted to see, but the truth is far darker than you could ever imagine." Jonathan's heart raced. "What do you mean? What is this all for?" Lira's smile widened. "The relic holds the power to control life and death, to manipulate the very fabric of time. It was never meant to be wielded by a mere mortal. It was meant for me." The fog around them grew thicker, enveloping Jonathan and Lira in a swirling abyss of shadows. Jonathan's mind raced. He had always thought that Lira was simply the village's curse, a tragic figure bound to a dark fate. But now he realized the truth. She was the true mastermind behind the events that had led him here. You were the one who started all of this?" Jonathan asked, disbelief lacing his voice. Lira nodded slowly, her eyes glinting with a mixture of malice and triumph. "Yes, Jonathan. The mirror was only the beginning. I've been preparing for centuries, waiting for the right moment to reclaim what was once mine." Jonathan could hardly comprehend what he was hearing. "But why me? Why did you bring me here?" Lira stepped closer, her presence overwhelming. "Because, my dear Jonathan, you are my heir. You are the one who can unlock the true power of the relic. I needed you to come here, to claim it for me." The truth hit Jonathan like a physical blow. His bloodline, his family, they had always been tied to this power. Lira had been manipulating him from the start, using his curiosity and his desire to uncover the secrets of the village as a means to her own ends. "You used me," he whispered, the realization sinking in. "You were always meant to play your part," Lira replied. "And now it's time for you to fulfill your destiny." Jonathan felt trapped. The relic before him radiated power, and Lira stood between him and his only chance of saving the village. He was the heir to this dark legacy, but could he accept it? Could he wield the power that had torn the village apart? "You don't have to do this," Jonathan said, his voice steady despite the swirling chaos around him. "I won't let you use me." Lira laughed softly, her gaze dark and unreadable. "You think you can stop me? The relic has already chosen you. It's too late for you to back out now." As Lira stepped closer, Jonathan's mind raced. He remembered the stories, the dark magic, the curse, the mirror, the forest, the relic. It was all connected, and now it was up to him to decide how it would end. The relic's light pulsed brighter, and Jonathan felt the pull, the desire to claim it for himself. It promised power, control, freedom. But he also knew the cost, the destruction it would bring to the world. With a final breath, Jonathan made his decision. He turned away from the relic, stepping back into the shadows. "No," he said firmly. "I won't let you use me for this." Lira's eyes widened in disbelief. You You would forsake all of this? The power to control everything? The power to rule? Jonathan shook his head. No, I choose to stop this. The curse ends with me. As Jonathan's words hung in the air, the forest seemed to shift. The fog began to dissipate, and the dark power that had clung to the relic began to fade. Lyra's form flickered, her image twisting as if the very air around her was rejecting her presence. No, she screamed, her voice filled with rage. You cannot undo what has been done. But Jonathan stood firm, his hands trembling but resolute. The relic began to crack, its power draining away as the darkness that had consumed the forest began to recede. With one final, anguished cry, Lira vanished into the fog, her form dissipating like smoke in the wind. The forest grew still, the oppressive weight lifting from Jonathan's shoulders. The power that had held Elmsworth in its grip for centuries was finally broken. Jonathan stood alone in the clearing, the remnants of the relic lying at his feet. The village of Elmsworth was free, but Jonathan knew that the cost of freedom was not without sacrifice. He had let go of the power that had tempted him, choosing to save the village rather than rule it. But as he turned to leave, a faint whisper reached his ears, a voice carried on the wind. The darkness will always find a way back. With a final glance at the shattered relic, Jonathan walked away, knowing that the battle was over, but the story of the Witch of Elmsworth would never truly be finished.